Hello, hi, it's Pete, and today what I want to do is to have a look at Google Slides. Okay, let's crack on. So here I'm signed into Google. You can see I'm signed in because it's got my name at the top. So let me just refresh this page because that's better. That's the account I'm actually signed into. And here I've actually got the 9-pack. And if I click onto 9-pack, I can come down onto Google Drive. Now Google Drive is going to launch. And there we can actually see all of the files that I've currently got in Google Drive. Now I'm going to be working inside of the Sacred Heart folder today. So I've moved across into Sacred Heart, and then I can click onto New and Google Slides. Now you'll be familiar with this screen now because we've seen very similar screens when we looked at Google we've looked at Google Sheets, and we've looked at Google Docs. So what we've actually got here again across the top is we can see this brown colour. Is that brown or gold, orange? I don't know. And then we've got the untitled presentation because it's an untitled presentation. Over this side we've got the same. We've got present, comment and share. We've got the menu bar, and we've got the toolbar that's relevant against this particular app. Over here is we've got the themes where we can choose the basic theme of what we want our slideshow to look like. And there's some fancy ones down there, and there's some simple ones up at the top. Now I always start with this plain simple one, Simple Light, and then I'm just going to click on that box and that cross there to close my theme so I've got more space. So what I want to do is to start out by just building some simple things. So it says click to add a title. So I'm going to click to add a title. And the title is going to be Intro to Google Slides. There we go. And underneath there, I always think it's a good idea as a subtitle to include the fact that who it's by, so that when you're actually presenting, you can actually people know who it is that's talking. And there I've created a slide. Easy peasy, no problem at all. Now let's do a little bit more things with this. If I click back into the box here where it says Intro to Google Slides, as you can see that's appeared inside of this box. And this is a big text box or a place marker where I can add various bits and pieces of information. Now around this box, in the corners and on the edges, you can actually see that we've actually got these bounding boxes or selection boxes that show that this box is active and selected. And because we can see these arrows, that would allow me to reshape this box. So I can actually reshape the box to fit the size of text that I want to play about with. I can also, when I've got the 4-way arrow, move that box around. So I'm going to put that Intro to Google Slides up in the top area there. And I'm going to do something similar down here. So I'm using these corner boxes to move this text in. And then I'm going to move that up a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to move that across down into this side here. So now, as you can see, we've got a slide that looks like this. And as you can see, wouldn't it be wonderful if we had a picture in the middle? Well, do you know, of course it would. That's why I did it. And here we can go to Insert, Image. And this allows me to insert an image. Now, I can insert an image by uploading it from my sheet. I could take a snapshot using my built-in webcam. I can actually point to the URL. I can use my albums that I've created on Google Drive. I can go to Google Drive, or indeed I can search for an image. Now for this first one, I'm going to upload an image. So I'm going to choose an image to upload. And this shows me my hard drive. And on my hard drive, I've got various areas, lots and lots of pictures. So I'm going to go into My Pictures, and then on here somewhere I've probably got presentation images. And there I've got my backgrounds. And these are a range of photographs that I've actually taken from various places, or indeed photographs that I've actually taken myself. So I'm going to choose this picture here. And it uploads. And once it's uploaded, it will insert it into the page. Now, as you can see, what's happened is that the text is now behind the image. So the image is on top of the text. Now the reason for the way that this happens is very much like a scrapbook. I can paste things on top of other things, and if I paste something on top of something, then we can't see what's behind it. So I'm just going to stretch this image out a little bit so it fits the space I want it to fit. And now what I need to do is to make sure that my image is in the right place. So I'm going to right click on this, and then I go to order, and I can say send to the back. Now there it is, I've sent that to the back, and we can see Intro to Google Slides, and we can see by Pete Reed down at the bottom there. However, they're not particularly standing out. So what I want to do is go to Intro to Google Slides. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background of this box. To change the background of this box, I've got this paint fill colour box here, and I can click onto there, and I can choose the colour that I would like to fill that box with. And then here down the bottom I've got my name, and instead of actually changing the fill colour on this one, I'm going to change the colour of the font. So to change the colour of the font, I can come onto here, and then I'm going to change the text colour, and I'm going to go for a brighter colour. And there, as you can see, I've now created a slide ready for my use. Let me just stretch that just a little bit so it covers the edge of that. And so I've actually now created a slide. I'm happy with that slide. I don't want anything else on that slide. That slide is now good to go. So now what I want to do is to add a new slide. So here I've actually got the plus sign that will allow me to add a new slide, or I've got slide and new slide, and both would do exactly the same thing. Now here, as you can see, I've entered a second slide. Now Google very kindly has said, well, you've done your title, so the next type of slide you're likely to add is going to be something for adding bits and pieces of text in, or something of that nature. So what I want to do here is I'm going to put topics for this slideshow. Now, as you can see, I would like to suggest, typed a double F, so I can just either use my arrow keys to move back across here and correct that error, or I could have just gone in with the mouse and clicked, and then gone and corrected the error. Now here what I want to do is to put in the topics that I want to talk about. So the first thing we've actually talked about is create a slide. Now I think that would look better as a bullet point. So up here I've got the bullet point option, and I'm just going to click onto that to make that into a bullet point. Now because I've selected a bullet point, the second one down is going to be to add, we'll add a second bullet point. Now when I created the slide, what I then did, whoop, I've deleted that, let me go back. If I press tab, it will actually give me a second level of bullet. I actually went in and added a title. I can't use caps lock to save my life. Let's try that again. Added a title. The second thing we did was, having added a title, we then went and added a subtitle. Added an image, and we changed the order of the image. We coloured the boxes and changed font colour. Okay, so that's what we've achieved so far. Now the second thing I want to be able to do is to be able to carry on adding additional information. Now as you can see, when I press tab, I got to my second level. If I hold the shift key down and press tab, it will take me back out to the top level. Because what I want to be able to do now is I want to go in to change the layout of slides, and also to be able to add animation. So I'm going to type change slide layout, add animation. Okay, so these are the next bits that we're going to do. So let's have a look at where we can change the slide layout. So up here where I've got slide, I can click onto slide, and down here I've got apply layout. And here we can see the title side, a section header, a title and body. I've got title and 2 columns, title only, 1 column text, etc, etc. So I can actually go through these. So let's actually look at this one with a title and 2 columns. I click onto it. And as you can see, that's actually just moved this across. So I've got this into 2 columns. Now again, there's nothing to stop me from going back to slide, apply layout, and choosing to go back to that first one. And again, if I click into here, we can see that that bounding box is now set. But I'm going to go to slide, apply layout, and we're going to go to 2 columns. Okay, so slide layout, yep, we got there by going to slide at the top and then apply layout. Now, as you can see, we can actually add those before or after we've actually created the slide. It's often a good idea to do them before. Now, add animation would let us animate text and images. Now, what it actually means by animate is we can change the way that they appear on the slide. So animation is about appearance on the slide. It doesn't allow you to create waving armed characters or things of that nature. That would actually be by an animated image. So let's actually create and have a look at how we can do this. So to animate this, I can go into View, Animations. And the View Animations would actually bring up this box at the side. Now notice that I've actually got this box highlighted at the moment. So if I add animation, it's going to be to the selected item. So I can click onto Add Animation, and here I've got the options of what I can do. The first one is to fade in. And fade in would just gently fade in the characters. Let's see what else we've got. We've got appear, disappear, fade in, fade out, flying from the left, flying from the right, flying from the bottom. We can do a lot of flying, yeah. Or we can zoom in or zoom out, and we've got spin. Now, the most common one that I tend to see is people having things fly in from the right. So we'll try that one to start with. Here we've got an option that says, do I do it on the click, or do we do it after the previous or with the previous? Well, we're going to look at doing it on a click, and we're also going to say, do it by paragraph. And here we can choose how fast that is going to be. And as you can see, we can bring it right down to 5 seconds or right up to 1 second before it would actually do this. So let's play that animation. So here's our slideshow. I click and the text appears. I click and the text appears. Yep. So you'll see a lot of presentations that use this type of animation so that the presenter can actually present information and not present you with too much information at a particular time. Now the theory is that the presentation, that if you actually display all your text at one time, then people are going to be reading the slide instead of listening to you as you're presenting. To be honest, my preference is just to display the information because I'm not trying to keep any secrets from you. And the only time I tend to use animation is if there's a killer point that I want to make at the end of a slide. And usually that would be in contrast to what I actually displayed. Okay, but we'll leave this animation on at the moment. Then over here at the other side, we can actually carry on with other things that we want to do. So for example, we're going to look at formatting text. Oh, let's make sure I've got my bullet point switched on. Where's my bullets? Come down here now. There we go. Yeah, so format my text. I want to use advanced image search. I want to be able to insert shapes. Format shapes and add text. and I want to build a presentation. Okay, so I think that's just about everything that I want to do on this particular slide at the moment. But what I will do is, once again, I want to animate this. So across here, I'm going to say add animation. And here I've got what I'm going to do is I'll fade this one in on a click by paragraph. And again, I can click on play. So I've now got this, and there I can bring my information across. And we can see here this red arrow that shows me at what point I am inside of my play. And now I'm onto the second column. As you can see, it's moved down, and there it is. I've now built the presentation. Okay, what else would I like to do? Well, I'm going to add an image down in this corner. So I can go to Insert, Image, and then here I can go, and once again I can actually choose an image to upload. Or I could go to Search. Now I'm going to go to Search, and I'm going to search on Google to find an image. So let's go to Google and search for a flower. Okay, now as you can see, I've got lots of flowers here, but notice this warning underneath that says only select images for which you have confirmed you have a license to use. Now, just because Google has shown you an image doesn't mean that I have the right to use that image, because the image you highlighted was found by Google Image Search, and it actually was created by DeviantArt. So they own that image, and I shouldn't really be using this image without their use. However, results shown are labelled for commercial use, commercial reuse with modification. So here I can actually choose the type of image that I want to be able to use. So they've given permission for me to use that image, so I can insert that image. I can now bring that image down into the sort of size and shape that I would like it to be. And there it is, that is now inside of my presentation. Okay. So there's the first two slides that I've actually created. The final thing I want to do at this point is just to show you how to insert other bits and pieces. So I'm going to go and create a new slide, this time just by clicking onto here. I don't like this particular style of presentation of slide, so I'm going to I'm going to go to Slide, Apply Layout, and I've got Title Only. My title only is going to say Shapes and Text Boxes, because that's what I want to look at on this particular slide. Now again, I'm going to use this box here to diminish the size of this particular box, and I'm going to move that over to the edge, and I'm going to colour that in that colour, because I quite like that. Okay, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert some shapes. So here I've got Insert, and here, down here, I've got Insert Shape. And the shapes that I've actually got available to me, as you can see, I've got squares and rounded squares, I've got rectangle things with bits cut off, I've got circles, triangles, all sorts of different shapes that I can use, including flowchart shapes if you want to build flowcharts using the system. And there's the odd smiley face. I've got arrows so I can show information flow as we go from place to place. I've got call-outs such as speech bubbles and thought bubbles and stars and all these other bits and pieces and banners and all this. So let's actually have a thought bubble. So there I'm going to create a thought bubble. So I've created a thought bubble, and I can't help feeling it would be nice if we had a picture of somebody who was having a thought. So let's go to Insert an Image. We'll go back to Upload, and we'll go to Choose an Image to Upload. Back to my presentation, Images. Here's some various images that I've acquired from various places. Yep, so what we'll do is we'll take this picture of Brooke, which I took many years ago now, and I can bring that down here, and I can put the thought bubble there, and I need to change the order because I want this at the front. So I've now got this thought bubble on top of Brooke. Now notice here I've got a little yellow box. Now on where we actually see that, that would allow me to extend that box so I can show the source of where that's coming from. So this is where Brooke is thinking, yeah, and saying something, and thinking something along the lines of great shapes, Pete. So there, as you can see, we've now added thought bubbles in, and we can do that with anything. Now this can be a great way if you're building a presentation for a family event or something of this nature, where you've been asked to put together a series of slides to embarrass the bride at a wedding or something of this nature. You can add thought bubbles in there, or speech bubbles, so that you can make the slides even more stand out than they currently are. Other shapes that I can add, let's go back up to Insert and Insert Shape. I've got the equation buttons, plus, minus, multiplication, divide, equals, not equals, and the various brackets. But I'm going to add an arrow. So I'm going to add an arrow over here. And as you can see, the arrow here has also got these yellow boxes on. So I could increase the depth of the arrow head, or I could increase or decrease the width of the arrow. So again, I can play about with this to my heart's content. And again, once I've actually got a box, if I just type, then text will appear inside of that box. Again, I've got the bounding boxes here, so I can go up onto my fill button, and I can change the colour of my arrow. Above the box, notice I've got this little circle attached. And what that allows me to do is to change the angle that that arrow appears. So I can actually change these arrows and shapes and choose the orientation that I want for any of these. Okay, then the last thing that I want to do is to insert a new slide. So I've got a slide, new slide, because what I want to be able to do is to automate these slides. Now that's the wrong slide layout, so I'm going to go to Slide, Apply Layout, and Apply Layout. And I'm going to go for one of these. Click to add text, click to add subtitle. So this is called Automate and sharing. Okay, and this, well, what this allows us to do is to publish slides to the web and have them auto play. So really all we've got to do is want to be able to automate and share these, and it's dead easy. All we need to do to be able to do this is we go to the File menu, we select Publish to the web, and then we can choose the settings. Now, one of the other options inside of there is also the ability to embed a slideshow. And what I'll do is I will embed this into the blog so that you can actually watch the slideshow there without necessarily having to sit through what appears to be an extremely long video. This is longer than Coronation Street. This is not good. Okay, that should do it for now. Talk to you later. Oh, sorry, we better do it, hadn't we? Yeah, so we go to File, Publish to the web, and here we can say start the slideshow as soon as it starts, restart after 3 seconds in between, and there we can then publish this. Are you sure? Yes, we want to publish this. And there I've got the content that would allow me to actually go and embed, to use that. Or I can embed this. So I'm going to pick up this slideshow from here, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to embed that into my blog. Okay, then that's me finished. Talk to you later. Bye.